Oh my Lord. Tommy Tubberville, and he's sitting there with the grouper. What did she do? You know, when she was married to Newsom, she actually looked like a decent, lovely woman. And now she's got the lips and the face like this. It's so attractive. Just like I can't look at her. She's got those lips pumped up so big, and then she's always got that permanent frown, and just looks like every time I see her, I just see a big grouper fish. It's just, I can't look at her. But anyway, he says, well, you know, I asked the military about their abortions, you know, their abortions after birth. Well, then it's not an abortion, you freaking idiot. They're not birthing babies and killing babies. You know, they're not doing infanticide. That's not an abortion, that's infanticide. Okay? So this is his big excuse now why he's holding everything up, because they're not telling me how many infanticides they're doing and calling it an afterbirth abortion. Really? Now there are places to do that, but that's India. Yeah, there's actually one village that's been their tradition. Their tradition, get that, their tradition is they only birth male children. Yeah, really. Look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. Rajasthan. In Rajasthan, there's a village that they commit infanticide. They will kill any girl, baby. And why is that? Because it's only the males that will earn money for the family, and the women, they have to pay for a wedding. And, you know, I'm not going to raise a girl for somebody else's family and then have to pay to get her married. Kill them. Literally, they do that. And they still do that in that village. Now, I have, and like I said, I lived in India for 5 years. And the first day I was there, I found an abandoned baby. I did, yeah. I found an abandoned baby, and I took it to a Catholic thing there, and they took the child in. You go, what do you do with this baby? And I have seen babies, dead babies floating down the Ganges, that they threw them in, yeah. So that does happen in other parts of the world, but we are not practicing infanticide here, okay? So this guy, Tuberville, well, the military's not telling me how many afterbirth abortions they're doing. What planet is this guy living on? And so that's why he's holding up all these military people from getting their promotions, etc. Now, how can we have a system where one man can hold up everything? This needs to be changed. So let's pull some cards and say, you know, is this going to change? Will they enact some sort of laws where one person cannot hold up everything for months and months and months and months? That's just, you know, there are some things in the system with the House and the Senate that need to be changed. So are we going to have changes in these systems? Let's look and see what we're looking at with that. Going into it rapid motion, about all this stuff that's up in the air, these things that they want to put out and hold up that people are really not happy with, okay? This needs to be looked at. You can't have this pie in the sky stuff like, you know, well, they're not telling me how many afterbirth abortions they're doing. People are not happy with it, and the timing of this, okay? The clock is ticking with this, okay? So in the past, we have had the history of this. They're going to look at the history of it, what's come down, seeing that now this is a tower moment. It's, you know, and especially when it comes to women's rights, not happy with it. So what's going on now? They're looking at the toxicity of what's happening, how they're chained to this type of mentality and drama. Trying to get the top card here. Above it, the Republicans, okay, Republican Party, the ones that keep fueling this, and about these actions, taking actions, or as the case may be, in this case, holding it up. But they're looking at this, they're having conversations about it now, about one person being able up to, you know, put a stop to everything. So let's look at the challenge with this. So the challenge is what's being offered, or what they're going to offer, because they want to move this to a better place. Something's got to give. Again, they're having conversations about moving this, about how they're going to do it. The outcome is strong what? Strengthening. Come here, card. Now this could either be higher things, or this is usually my card for the narcissist, Trump, the Trumpian nonsense. And pushing these radical elements is what it's saying. Strengthening this radical element thing and protecting. So what are they protecting? Let's look and see. Protecting, what's being offered is a strengthening, moving it forward when it comes to being pushed to the edge. And again, wanting to get beyond a better place when it comes to those radicalized things. So it looks like they're having conversations about this, about better protections, rather than allowing one person to skew this endlessly. Okay, so it is being looked at. Now let's hope that they start actually moving on this to make changes to the House and Senate when it comes to these radical elements being able to hold things up. Yes, how we got the Speaker of the House we got, because of the radical elements that nobody else is going to get in. We've got enough votes that we're just not going to put them in. And you either get the radical element or you have nothing, okay? So that's the thing we're living in, and that's what we have to navigate. So we have about leadership being able and controlling and holding on what's being held to when it comes to all this stuff up in the air and wanting to get to a better place with it. I think people have had enough. They're feeling beat up, and they're in consensus about that. And again, now that's the end of it. People are feeling beat up. They're in consensus about that. I think there are some even in the Republican Party that have had enough of Tommy Tuberville and this stuff that he's doing, these radical, crazy things. Holding up these promotions because they're not telling me how many afterbirth abortions they're doing. They're not telling you because it's an idiotic question to ask. They're not practicing infanticide. There's no such thing as an afterbirth abortion. An abortion happens before birth. After birth, then it's infanticide. And they are not practicing infanticide, you loon. Loon and the grouper. So on that note, I'm going to leave that here, and we'll see you online.